Good evening. Welcome to the Design Review Board meeting of May 8th, 2025. The time is 5:07. The DRB meeting is now called to order. Please refrain from talking to amongst yourselves during the meeting, and please turn off your cell phones at this time. This meeting is being broadcast live on Glendale TV 2, viewable on Spectrum Cable, Channel 21, and AT&T Uverse Channel 99. Meetings are also streamed on the city's webpage, glendaleca.gov/live, on youtube.com/myglendale, and on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, iOS, and Android devices using a free app called Cablecast, choosing Glendale TV from the menu. Meetings are also archived on the city's website for viewing anytime at glendaleca.gov/agendas. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person. Current DRB agendas and staff reports are available by visiting the website at www.glendaleca.gov. Record of decisions for all projects will be posted online on the Planning Division's website. Please note that any appeal of a case heard today must be filed within 15 calendar days of the DRB's decision date. The appeal application is available online at www.glendalepermits.com. And this will be roll call. Board Member Lockruff?
Present.
Board Member Simonian?
Present.
Board Member Welsh?
Present.
And with Mr. Chair Kaskanian and Board Member Halajian absent. Since the chair is absent today, do we have a nomination for Chair Pro Tem?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Board Member Simonian.
I'll second it.
Okay, this will be roll call, really quick. Board Member Lockroff,
Yes.
Board Member Welsh,
Yes.
and Board Member Simonian.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We got a Chair Pro Tem. Reports regarding posting the agenda. The agenda for the May 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Glendale Design Review Board was posted on the city's website on May 1st, 2025, and on the bulletin board outside City Hall on May 5th, 2025. And we have approval minutes from our last meeting, not in April, but in March 13th, 2025. Do we have the quorum? Now, that's the good question, to approve those last minutes. Do we feel that we have it? I think we do, right?
We do.
Okay. Do we feel that we're ready for a vote on the approval of minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Okay. And do we have a second?
Yes.
Okay. Board Member Luckruff?
Yes.
Board Member Welsh?
Yes.
And Mr. Chair Pro Tem Simonian?
Yes.
Very good. Moving on to oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Design Review Board may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. Do we have any cards? Anyone to speak for oral communications?
I do not.
Okay, very good. And I don't think you take 20 on, right? Do you? Well, I forgot, but can you just check it quickly? One more. Okay, and I do see one person. Let me just verify if this is someone to speak on behalf of the case. Okay, that's what is verified. Okay, moving forward for board and commission member comments. Do we have any comments this evening?
Any comments? No.
Okay. Seeing that we have no old business, we're going to jump straight into new business. We have one item this evening located at 521 Nolan Avenue. This is to construct a new 3-story, approximately 2,526 square foot single-family house with attached 2-car garage on a vacant 8,790 square foot property located in the R1R zone. I'm going to now turn it over to the case planner for a presentation, and I'll have Ms. Yepremian take it away.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Joe.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem Simonian, members of the Design Review Board, and audience present here and watching us live, good afternoon. I'm Shoik Yepremian, the case planner for this project. As indicated, the project address is 521 Nolan Avenue, case number PDR 003772-2024. Something happened. It's not loading. We'll start with the project location. The subject site is located in the Brockmont neighborhood, north of Cumberland Road, towards the end of Nolan Avenue. I have the aerial view as well, which shows the subject site basically in between these two developed houses. It gives you some idea where the project is located and the immediate development. I'll start with the project proposal is to construct a new 3-story, 2,526 square foot single-family house with an attached 2-car garage on a vacant 8,790 square foot lot. The subject site is located in R1R, which is restricted residential zone, FAR District 2. It is a double frontage lot, and the average current slope is approximately 96%. This project is exempt under California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, under Class 3 new construction for one single-family house. I added some photos of the subject site and the area. The photos on the left is basically Nolan Avenue direction, in both direction, and the one on the right is from Valentine Drive, which is the street down below. This project has previous approvals. They obtained approvals for standards and setback variance. City Council actually upheld the Planning Commission decision to approve the variances in 2022. The approvals include 5-foot street front setback, 6-foot and 1¾ inch driveway length, and uncovered stairs greater than 4 feet high projecting into the street front setback area. The second approval was for administrative exception to allow a building height to be at 36 feet, where a maximum of 32 feet is permitted. The fact that these two approvals were approved back in 2022, there was a 2-year approval time given. Therefore, in 2024, the applicant asked for a 1-year time extension, and they were approved in October of 2025. This is the site plan of the project. Due to the steep topography of the subject site, the house is proposed to be located close to Nolan Avenue, maintaining the rest of the lot undisturbed, as you can see from this image. The house sits back 5 feet from the front property line, as approved by the variance, as I indicated. Driveway access is, of course, from Nolan Avenue. An arborist report was prepared for the project, which identified a total of 10 trees on the property. Out of 10 trees, 3 were oak trees. They were identified on the subject site, but mostly located toward the downhill side of the property near Valentine Drive and away from the proposed building's footprints. Measures, of course, will be proposed by the city's arborist to ensure that the oak trees are protected during construction. I just added some images of the floor plans. Of course, the first level is the 2-car garage, a foyer, and the steps or the stairs going down. We have the middle level, which has the living room, dining room, kitchen, and a powder room. And the lower level, it includes the bedrooms and bathrooms. These are some elevation renderings. If you can see from the top left, this is the view from Nolan Avenue. You can see the 2-car garage and the entry to the house. In the back, you see the 3 levels as shown on this rendering. And of course, the side views where it shows how the house steps back from Nolan Avenue with the slope of the property. Of course, this is a proposed modern style house. It includes features such as flat roof, stucco mixed with wood-like siding, limestone floor and wall tiles, and black aluminum clad flush windows. And then I also added the cross sections. The project is proposing 1 5-foot retaining wall at the bottom of the house. And then I've added the material boards, which shows various materials and designs to be used, which are, we feel, compatible with the modern design house. They included a landscape plan as well, which proposes various shrubs at the front, side, and other plant materials, meeting MWELO requirements. And I've added some more renderings of how the house will look like, just more images. And then finally, staff recommends the approval of DRB case number PDR 003-772-2024. We have one condition for this project. It basically, we want to make sure the applicant and the project complies with the city's arborist comments and conditions before submitting to plan check. Just as a note, I have received one phone call from the neighbor who wanted to know the status of the project. She did not provide her address, nor did she submit any formal communication. I also received another phone call from a neighbor at 515 Nolan Avenue, immediately adjacent to the subject project, and wanted to make sure that the property boundary lines were accurate between his property and the subject site. This basically summarizes my brief presentation. The project architect, Alan Malikian, is present for any detailed questions, as well as the property owner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Yepermian. Do we have any questions for staff?
No.
No? No. I just have a quick question. What is the average current slope of the property?
It's indicated as 96% almost. Let me go back. I had it on my 96%.
Thank you. And so with that, we'll call up the architect, Mr. Malikian. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Al Malikian. I'm the project architect. Well, like Joey presented, I think it's a very thorough presentation. It went through all the project. It is very similar to the 511 Nolan, which it was in front of you, board, about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And it's very similar in the slope and the conditions. We do have a SOLS report. We have some conditions that we're going to have to meet. But we managed to maintain the slope and the stepping back of the building as it's conditioned with the hillside guidelines. I try to use materials that are kind of complementary to the surrounding, as well as the natural colors and materials that we wanted to use. Obviously, we are in a fire zone, so we're limited, There was a request, which I may have it been, but the wood paneling, the homeowner was asking if we can have a leeway to have other variation colors, maybe in the towards of a gray color. But that's something that we can forego on that. But if it's something that it is allowed and acceptable by board, if it can be a consideration on added as part of, so allow staff to have the leeway if we do decide to do that option, it would be, that's the request that she was having, and I said I'll present it and see how it goes. Other than that, if you have any questions, you have anything, any?
All right, do we have any questions for Mr. Malakian?
Well, I guess on this request for the color, are you looking for something that's a more
No,
stark
the
gray,
wood,
or-
yeah, it's a little bit more of a grayish tone, whatever, because these are standard, they're not painted. They're man-made products, teak wood, and they have standard color, so in their
Composite
palette.
material,
Yeah,
though, right? Yes.
yeah, so in their palette, if they do have the darker color, if we have the leeway to switch that, it would be appreciated.
Were there any other changes you were talking about in terms
that's
of
it.
colors?
That's the
So-
only thing, that's the
Okay.
only thing. But I'll try to see if I can have a conversation with her about the color, which I like this color, but that's her preference, so if it is something that, so we can render it so she can see the difference, and then and we don't have to come back.
Right. I have do you have a question?
I do, but.
Yes, no, go ahead.
It's really simple. I was just hoping you could walk us through your lighting design for the.
The lighting design?
Yeah.
So the lighting design, we have minimal amount of lighting because we are in a hillside. So what we have done is that the proposal would be soffit lighting. There's going to be step lighting possibly on the side steps as we're coming down so that we don't really shine light to the neighbors. We do have, I believe, on the front of the front elevation, if you look at the front entry door, we do have one sconce light that I believe we have there. Yeah, it's a one sconce light that it's going to be on the place on the front, by the front door, which the sample of the light is added onto the material board at the end. So that's the only thing that we have.
Okay, thank you. That's it for now. Thank you.
And Mr. Malakian, I noticed on the material board you had spec'd out aluminum windows. Is that the intent, to have aluminum windows and doors, sliding doors on this?
That's the intent. We're probably going to end up using some sort of a, I would probably say, Pella just came back with a project that we have, and Pella came back very expensive, so that was, so now I have to select probably Western windows would be the type of window. Obviously, it has to be thermal break windows, so that's the intent. Either way, the exterior finish is going to be aluminum. We may go with the aluminum clad, that wood inside, I don't know at this moment, but the exterior finish would be aluminum.
Okay. That was my question. Do we have any more questions for the architect?
not really.
No.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Malakian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does staff have, I don't have any more cards, but does staff have anybody that is on queue?
I think we have one caller. Okay, do you know? Yeah.
Mr. Alex Jackson, you're on air. This is Design Review Board. Can you hear us?
Mr. Alex Jackson?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Hi there, everybody.
go ahead.
So we have 3 minutes. Please, yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. A little bit of background on this property. I don't know if you guys can see, but you can pull up the assessor map of this parcel, or if you look at page 40 on their packet, you're going to see a dotted line on the north side of what they have shaded blue, which is the south side of our property. So let me know when you guys see that. On page 40.
We're trying to get that image up on the screen if possible, so
Sure.
bear with us for a moment.
No worries. And while that's going up, I'm just going to give a little background because there's been a couple different case planners since this started. But that's a 4-foot addition, land addendum that's part of our property that when this owner of this vacant land, they didn't recognize that. So they never did a boundary survey. They never put anything in the ground, did a proper boundary survey. As a result, their designs are just not applicable. They need to go back and redesign these to be applicable to their actual legal boundaries. So the 4-foot land addition there, the dotted line, it's based from a 1967 subdivision. And in 2020, I think you should have record of it. We spent about a year with the city of Glendale going back and forth about the MAP Subdivision Act at great expense and great time, at the end of which the city of Glendale certified that, yes, indeed, that 4-foot land addendum is absolutely certified. As a result, if you look at their packet where it says lot 70, that's not accurate. That is not accurate to what you will see on the assessor map if you go to the city's assessor map. If you go to the city's assessor map, you'll see obviously our lot is much bigger and it encompasses much more space. That's because these were all initially one lot, and when it was subdivided by the owner, he did this on purpose to make sure that it was covering the actual side of the house there. So as a result, they never did a boundary survey. Their designs are flawed because they're encroaching into our space at the moment. And there's no need for them to be doing this. They don't need that extra square footage to live comfortably or build a house that needs it. There's no need for them to do it except for them to do the actual work necessary that's required by the law. We did. We were forced to go through the MAP Subdivision Act with great expense with the city of Glendale. And I don't know if you can contact Kathy Duarte about that, but that took over a year till that was certified. We had to go back to the 60s, the 70s, that had talked to former owners. It was a very long and difficult process to reassert that that dotted line, which is deeded on my property and always has been, is ours. They have not recognized that line. It's very clearly, there's a stake in the curve where it goes, and they have it designed not accurately. They think that their lot goes down a certain way, whereas you can see it's curved. It's a slope. Not all lots are straight squares, and this one certainly isn't, because that 4-foot land addition goes farther over. So I've brought this up before, and I will bring this up again. This will just continue to be an issue. We're not going to let this go. It's not the proper way of doing any kind of construction. We're not opposed to this person building a house. We want them to do it the correct and legal way, and they have no interest in doing that. And I know there's been a lot of kind of different, planners and stuff involved in this. I'm just giving you a little bit of context on what's happened here, and that is that's a pretty serious red flag for us, and we take it very seriously.
Thank you, sir. I think staff is still trying to pull up what you were referring to.
No, it's fine. I mean, because they'll see it. As soon as you guys get a chance to deliberate, you can look at page 40. You can also then go look at the assessor map. You can go back and see the Subdivision Act and what Kathy Duarte and the city of Glendale we passed in 2020 to solidify those 4 feet, the dotted line. It is a pretty unique
Can I interject
thing
for
to see on the assessor
one
map.
moment, because
Yeah.
your time is up. So at this point, we could ask you questions,
Yes, please.
and if so, we could kind of continue our dialogue. On sheet D-A5.1 of the architectural packet that's been submitted is a boundary survey, I assume. It's a site plan photo survey. And have you had a chance to look at that survey as presented in the architectural packet that has been uploaded to the city's website?
Sorry, what page is that? I'm in the packet right now.
Oh, at the bottom right, it's D-A5.1.
Oh, I just see page numbers. Yeah, I
If you,
see page numbers.
well, you would have to click on the architectural plans, and then once you're on the architectural plans, and once that gets downloaded, you would go to
I
probably
downloaded the
page
agenda and the
11
packet.
or 15 or something like that.
Is it not on the agenda or the packet?
It's in
I wasn't sent anything else.
At the PDF file, these were going by
Oh, I see. If you click on the first icon, which
The
is the
HTML agenda?
HTML version, you'll see
sure.
that there's a bunch of downloads available, one of which is a boundary map.
Sorry, okay, clicked on the HTML thing.
No, wait,
I
as you're
see.
looking that up, though, so we're going to kind of put you on mute for a moment, and then staff is going to address your I guess, thoughts.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem Simonian, this issue came up in 2019 during Planning Commission appeal, City Council for the variance applications. At the time, both property owners, it's my understanding, because it was handled by different planners, it was my understanding that both property owners have retained legal advice, and together they agreed for a certificate of compliance to make sure that lot line is legal. The property owner is also here to testify on that case.
Okay. And in regards to what was being presented, do we, or talked about by the caller, do you have that document that he's referring to in blue with the dash line, so we could at least get a visual as to what he's referring to? Because I frankly don't understand where that 4-foot line is or where it lies.
I don't follow it either.
Also,
Perhaps
Could I
the
maybe
property
suggest
owner
a-
or
Sir,
the
if you would,
architect.
just give us a few minutes that we go through the process.
Sure.
Because as you're speaking over, it's creating more ruckus in the background. So just give
I
us a few
apologize.
minutes if you would.
As far as staff is aware, that issue was resolved back in time during Planning Commission appeal period, and the property owner and the architect can elaborate on that. So the plans that we received and reviewed for Design Review Board, it's consistent with those approvals.
Got it. What I'm going to ask then, Mr. Yepravan, if you would, put this caller on hold, and Mr. Caller, do not go away, because we may call upon you. And then I'm going to ask Mr. Malekian, if possible, to come up and shed some light on, from the applicant's point of view at least,
Yes,
the
thank you.
relevance of the caller and how we should assess this, and then we'll have staff kind of talk about that as well, and then we'll take it from there.
Appreciate that. I will just have a comment that we do have a legal survey, land survey, and the project has been based on the legal land survey that has been done by a land surveyor, licensed land surveyor, based on the most recent certificate of compliance approval that they have received after 4 years or 5 years of, but I would not speak about this because the property owner was more involved, and that was a discussion that I think you need to have with her. I do not want to speak and say something that is incorrect, so I will let her.
And I just want to, then one last question is, sheet D-A5.1 that has the boundary survey.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Is this survey based, per your understanding, is this the survey that was?
This is the survey that was
The
given
final
to-
survey based on the compliance?
Correct. This
Got
is
it.
the survey that was given
And
to us.
then these boundary lines have been used and utilized and superimposed onto your
Correct.
design?
Correct.
So all your 10-foot interior setbacks, et cetera,
Everything is
are
based on that.
from these boundary lines?
Right.
And, very good. So then I will ask, thank you, Mr. Malekian. Going back to the, is it Ms. Hartunian? Yes. And if you would, come up, introduce yourself. Afterwards, you could fill out a card.
My daughter last name. My
Okay.
name is Sofia Nazari. I'm co-owner.
Oh, I apologize, I saw Hartunian, that's why I said that.
Yes.
So if you would, just fill out a speaker card afterwards.
Sure. I
Not
will.
now,
I will.
afterwards, and you could give
I
it to
will,
staff.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this issue came up on the commissioner hearing, and that time, because we brought up, we asked, his porch is kind of inside my lot, And then after he got a lawyer, I got a lawyer, and we talked so many times with the city of the Glendale and head of the city of the Glendale attorney, I think Gillian, her name. She recommended with the also we had a meeting with the planning department head, and she was over there too. And they both recommend that we have to go for a COC, get the COC, and that's a process for, I think it was for almost a year. We go through all the process, we got the COC, and we went to, again, to the second time they appeal. We went to, city of the Glendale and mayor, city council, and mayor also saw all the paperwork, and they approve everything. They said, everything is correct, and and that time, because it passed for a little bit longer time. For this hearing, also, Alan asked me, because it's deadline, it's a past deadline, we have to get a new survey and updated this survey, and also updated, this some kind of the application, which we did that. I asked again the survey company. They, came over there. They again did their job, and they sent a new survey to me. And I sent it to planning, to Shokik and also to Alan, both, the new survey. I think you guys have it in, and I have it here too. I don't know what he's talking. Everything resolved during that time. I don't know why he's bringing up now, because we went through all the paperwork and all the document, and with the both side attorney and with the city of the Glendale, and everything goes by the book, where we did all the requirement, and everything is fine. It was resolved. I don't know why he's bringing up again to delay after 10 years, because this is the project is going for 10 years. Because of every time, everything we come here to pass, he's going to appeal it, and they delay it. And he did the same thing for another side of the neighbor, which last year you guys passed that, this plan too. The way the guy said, what, I cannot go more than this, because I don't have a nerve anymore go with this gentleman. Every time he's, bothering me, kind of, bullying me, and with the phone, with everything. Before this, everything started, and he did the same thing 10 years ago with me too. I have all the email, everything he sent it to me, which he was asking me, you have to give me free the whole that line, because my my porch, like kind of it's in your lot. You have to go that whole line to give it to me. I said, why? City said no. When we had a meeting, city said no. You have to go. That's the only way you can solve this problem. You have to go and get it, COC, which I did that. I don't know why he's bringing up again.
Thank you for that elaborate history. It certainly helps us to understand. Do we have any questions for the owner?
No, not really. I mean, this is more of a property line dispute than
Right.
really affecting our purview, so.
Right. I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, Pro Tem, and members of the board, so we did some background history. I know this project, as Ms. Yepremian mentioned, this did go before the City Council, and within the report, it did mention this issue was brought up. And it was actually resolved through, there was certificate of compliance for each lot, and the project did take in consideration of that 4 feet that Mr. Jackson is talking about. So eventually it was resolved. There is, by these past reports, I know it has gone through, as we mentioned, this was from 2022. In the report of the previous planner, this was resolved through certificate of compliance, so.
Okay. Then with that, I feel as though the speaker spoke, went over the 3 minutes. We got a good understanding of the dispute, which I completely agree is a property line, boundary line issue between two landowners and neighbors. At this point, I think we are assuming that staff has reviewed the COC paperwork, has reviewed the boundary line, has reviewed the survey, and the package as presented to us has the boundaries that are in line with the COC process that has been vetted and has gone all the way to city council and is now here. Is that?
Yes, I'm just going to verify with Ms. Yepremian if that's true, if that's accurate for and she's nodding her head yes. So, okay.
So then with that, I suggest we move forward, assuming that the city attorney has vetted and staff has vetted this property line and this package as presented to us. And if there are any disputes afterwards, they could certainly continue their process and they could continue their appeal process, whatever that may be. But as far as today's concern, our jurisdiction and really preview is design and site planning, and that's what we will do. And so with that, we could maybe, I'm fairly certain we're not going to call the speaker up. So if he would like to leave, he could hang up. But with that, if we don't have any other speakers in queue, I'd like to close the public portion so we could start our deliberation.
We have no other callers.
Thank you. All right. So with that, who would like to start us off today?
I'll go, that's fine.
We'll start from closest to the door and we'll come in.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, I think it's fair for us to assume that all that kind of legwork has been done in the past. It's usually not something that we ever call into question, so I don't see why we would begin to call it into question now. If there is a property line dispute, that is between two property owners. That's up for them to determine. It's not really within our purview to review that. Okay, so let me turn to the case. This is a challenging site, you know. And I'm sure you've been through a lot here. And I appreciate that you've gone through the effort of doing things like getting the exceptions, you know, doing the additional permit work that you needed to do to be able to even bring it to this point. So thank you for having done that, for having gone through the process as excruciating as I'm sure it was. So I appreciate your forbearance on that. In terms of the project, I think that it's a nice design. It's lovely. I think that you are kind of limited in what you can do here, you know, in terms of where you can mass it, how high you can make it, and all of those kinds of things. So, you know, as a result of all of that, it's a fairly modest home. I think it fits perfectly in with the neighborhood. It's not excessive at all. I think you've done a great job, Mr. Malikian, of breaking up the massing, stepping it into the topography. So you've done all the things that we would look towards. I do want to address your question about the materials. I agree with you. I prefer the more natural wood looking, you know, the guidelines specify that we should be looking for natural colored options here. And notwithstanding you've got a lot of white in the stucco there, but having the wood helping to break it up, or the wood look helping to break it up, having the more natural colored stone veneering, I think also helps break it up. And I think the use of those natural materials is the more appropriate solution. So I would prefer to just keep it as it is, it's been presented, as opposed to making a change on that. Beyond that, I really have nothing more to add. I think it's well executed. I think, you know, even though you have this variance for, you know, the staircase above 4 feet, it's actually 4 feet below because it's going down, it's not going up, so it's not really an imposition on the neighborhood whatsoever. And that's about it. You know, it's hard for me to say exactly how the landscaping below that is going to work, but I also don't think anyone's going to see the landscaping below the house there, because I went to both the top and the bottom of the site, and it is such a steep, I mean, it's almost goes straight up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go into any particular details about trying to disguise the landscape wall or the retaining wall there, it's really not going to be very visible to anybody. So beyond that, I'm happy with the project. I'm ready to move it forward. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lockeroff.
I also support the project in terms of the design. It does fit well into the guidelines. And I think that it follows the slope because it is a downslope. I also went to the site and it feels very modest. It's hard to see it from any angle, and I appreciate that. And I would say that, the massing's broken down nicely, and I'm glad that you're considering keeping the lighting low for the neighbors. And I would say that in terms of the color, I really do like the color that's been presented, and I agree. I think that not only is it warm and fits in with the guidelines, but it also helps to break the massing, which is also important for the design and our guidelines. So I would propose to keep it as designed. But otherwise, I support the project and think it's lovely. So.
Thank you, Ms. Lockeroff. I concur with the board members. I also support the project. I think it's well done. It's a very challenging site to work with. Any kind of a site that's in the 90% average current slope becomes challenging. And so it's a really good idea that you did go and get those releases as necessary for those variances to be able to pull it closer to minimize your height as much as possible. And so it is pulled closer to the street, which will minimize building height, so that is appropriate, and it does step back, which is very nice. The use of materials, I concur as well. I think the colors as depicted are quite nice. And so I support the project as well. And with that, it seems as though staff had one condition. Seems we're all in agreement on the materials as depicted is the way to go. And so do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move the project for approval with the one condition.
I second the motion.
Thank you.
So just prior to roll call, staff is just going to announce the public forum has been closed. The board has expressed that they have received and heard the public testimony, and we're going to be ending the public forum and ending all calls. So I did hear a motion by Board Member Welsh, and I got a second by Board Member Lockeroff, and this will be roll call. Board Member Lockeroff.
Yes.
Board Member Welsh.
Yes.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem Simonian.
Yes.
So we have the motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
With one condition.
Correct.
Thank you. And with that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I'll move we adjourn.
We will still have a public forum right now
I
going
second.
on.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, so yeah.
I'll move we adjourn, so.
So, yep.
And I seconded, yes.
Adjourned.
Thank you.
The time is 5:49, and this is adjourned. Thank you.